So this is a video I've been waiting to do for so long. I am making a tier list of ADB, Gen 3, BGC. Now, some things to note. First of all, this is obviously just my opinion, okay? Like, my opinion is not exactly like most people's, so many people disagree with some of my takes. Many people agree with some of my takes. I am probably the biggest Gengar hater there is, but that is okay. So, first of all, what do the tiers mean? Well, S tier are gonna be the ones that can basically fit into any single team. Every team needs an answer to them, multiple if possible, which usually you are gonna go for. And honestly, the mons in S+, I have them in every team. Unless for some reason I'm making a gimmick team, I have them. A tier are the ones that can fit into every team, but they have their flaws. But even with those flaws, they are still amazing Pokemon for this metagame. B tier, these mons, they have a reason to be used, but you are not gonna see them often, okay? You can try to fit them, you can try to make a team around the idea of using one of them, but they have strong flaws. And talking of flaws, C tier mons, you don't really wanna use them. Like, they have a reason to be used, but you probably shouldn't, unless it's super specific. And don't are the ones that you should not use. Like, they have a, you might think, oh, this mon surely has a reason to be used because of blah blah blah. No, don't use it, okay? So, to start things off, we have Aerodactyl in B. Why is Aerodactyl in B? Well, it outspeeds everything. Like, if we go to the speed, the most faster are Electrode and Ninjask. You don't care about Ninjask, especially because it never runs enough speed for Aerodactyl, and the Electrode is super bad. So why are you using this mon? To be the fastest. But it has problems. Rock Slide gets a 50% reduction in the gen. If you're running HP Rock, you are gonna struggle to do damage to the Lattice. If you are running anything you run, you're gonna be struggling to do damage, especially because you're super weak to Intimidate, and you are super weak to the common mobs. Steel, Electric, Ice, Water, all of those are common, Rock, all of those are common and you're weak to all of them. But still, it has a reason to be used because of how fast it is. Talking of reason to be used, what does this mon do? Well, it is faster than the best mon in the metagame, Metagross. It kills it, it also kills the Lattice, it kills Gengar, it can wall some mons, it is also not fast enough for the fast threats of the metagame, and it's very frail. So I recommend you don't use this mon too often, but it has a reason. Talking of having a reason, we have a mon that doesn't have a reason. Why are you using this mon? Well, it has a Spore and it hits Snorlax for a lot of damage. Why are you not using this mon? Because you are slow, weak to almost every hit. Like, later when you see the top 10 mons, this mon is good into Snorlax and bad into all the others. Except some sets of some of them, but you don't wanna be using this mon, it's not good in this metagame. Unless for some reason you really want Like if you have a setup mon and you really want the sleep, go for it, but then we have Ninjask. Now, what does Ninjask do? Well, it Swords Dances, it gets a speed boost, and it Baton Passes. Is it good at doing that? Not really. You are weak to so many hits in the metagame. If you either run Substitute or you run an attack. If you don't run Substitute, it's gonna be hard to Baton Pass. If you run Substitute, you are super passive like. This mon is not reliable. You are matchup fishing, even if you matchup fish, you can go badly very easily. I wouldn't recommend to ever make a team with this mon, unless you wanna try it out. But after you try it out, you realize, wow, this mon sucks. Talking of suck, woo, Slaking. Why are you using Slaking? To skill swap it. But when you look at the skill swap mons, yeah, they can support this by skill swapping it, but they could also be attacking. You could also be using a Tauros, which is faster, a speed difference that is very important. It has Intimidate, so instead of the worst ability, one of the best. And yeah, you are bulkier and faster, but first of all, the difference in physical bulk is not as big because Tauros has Intimidate. Like, I wouldn't recommend to ever use a Slaking team, okay? Next, we keep having bad mons. I promise I will jump to some of the good ones after this. But then we have the Face of Sun, Exeggutor. Exeggutor is used in Sun because it has Explosion, which is amazing in this metagame. It has Sleep Powder, and that's it. You shouldn't be using Sun teams anyway. By the way, I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee. It tastes very bad. Anyway, the Exeggutor. So, you don't wanna be using Sun like ever, just use Rain. If you for some reason wanted to use Weather, use Rain, but if you're gonna use Sun, use Exeggutor. Now, let's jump to good mons. Where are some good mons? Gyarados. Okay, so Gyarados. The thing with Gyarados is that you can't talk about Gyarados without talking about its best friend in the world. Which, where is it? Did I leave it down here? Well, I'm gonna talk about it later. So, this mon is used with Marowak. The Marowak combo is one of the combos of this metagame. Like, you almost never are gonna see a Gyarados without a Marowak. What do? Gyarados is immune to Earthquake, so Marowak gets those. Marowak gets Lightning Rod, so it can redirect into your Gyarados. Gyarados has Intimidate, which is an amazing ability. Earthquake, an amazing move. Flying, Stabbing, HP Flying. Dragon Dance is one of the best, if not the best, Dragon Dancer. In fact, it's the best Dragon Dancer. But it has its problems. It's really weak into the many Thunderbolt users in this metagame if Marowak is not up. And having to you're forced to many times to have your Marowak in the field, and that can be predicted. So it's a great mon, that's why it's in A tier, but it's not good enough to be higher than this. Next. Okay, so this one goes in the don'ts. Like, alongside its best friend, where is it? Man, there are so many mons in this. Here it is. These mons are follow me with static, and you would say, oh my god, you can follow me and static a Meteor Mash. Oh my god, you can follow me and static a Snorlax or a Tauros. You are also weak to Earthquake, and you die to Earthquake, and you are pretty much worthless against many mons like the Lattice. Remember, Raichu has 100 speed in the gen. You are worthless against so many mons in this metagame. Don't try to use them as follow me users. There are way better follow me users. Talking of follow me users, we have Mr. Mime, which I believe should be higher than Breloom in C-. Why do you use Mr. Mime? Well, one of the main reasons is for closed team shit, aka they don't know your moves, they don't know if you're gonna have fake out or follow me. They are not legal together. That's a sad thing, but follow me or fake out, they don't know which one it is until you use it. Besides that, just use the other follow me users, they are way better into everything except Hariyama. Okay, so talking of bad mons. Okay, so why would you ever use Sneasel, you might ask? Well, Inner Focus, Icy Wind, Fake Out. You can use it in Sun teams with Sunny Day. I believe it also gets Rain Dance. If I may check it real quick. Sneasel, Rain Dance. You can use it for those. You can also use good ones for those, like Alakazam. Like Fake Out. Between Alakazam and Sneasel, there's a world of difference, but Fake Out. But a world of difference, just to use Alakazam. So now let's talk about Alakazam. So, what does Alakazam do? You might think, wow, this mon is really frail, there is no Focus Sash, what are you gonna do with an Alakazam? Well, the big move with Alakazam is Anchor. You can anchor your opponent into Protect. Protect is run everywhere in this metagame because of Explosion, because of not being many options anyway. So, that move is so good. Alakazam is also so fast. It's the fastest of the viable mons. It hits so hard. It can run Fire Punch for Metagross, Ice Punch for the Lattice and Zapdos. It can run HP Dark to hit all of those and not get walled by Starmie. It can outspeed an Oko Gengar. So I consider it to be right below Gyarados. Because of all of those, but also you are dying to any Earthquake. Any Earthquake user like Choice Band Metagross, Choice Band Tauros, Choice Band Snorlax, one hit KO. If they are not Choice Band, you get 2 hit KO'd anyway. Obviously Marowak outgoes you, in case for some reason you needed me to tell you that. Like, you are so frail, you're often relying on predictions. Like, yeah, you can also endure Petaya Bear, you're relying on predicting your opponent so often with this mon that it has like that small reliability problem compared to the other mons. There are gonna be games where it does nothing, often. Well, let's jump to another of the bad mons, because I feel like talking of bad mons right now. Persian. Persian is Sneasel, but done better. You get the same speed, Fake Out, Icy Wind, you less Inner Focus, but you also don't have an horrible type and you do damage. You can do damage with Persian, unlike Sneasel. Sneasel has to run Shadow Ball. That isn't even stab for damage. You can at least put some pressure with this mon. It's still horrible, like run a better Fake Out user. That speed and Icy Wind is not worth it. Talking of not worth it, one of the worst mons in the metagame. Why would you use Misdreavus? Well, it has the good things of the two others, like the two other ghosts. Dusclops, which isn't poison type, and Gengar, which has Levitate. It also has a lot of bad traits compared to them. Just use the others. You are not fast like Gengar, you are not strong like Gengar, you are not bulky like Dusclops. Like, don't try this mon ever. Talking of trying mons, I guess I should talk now about the best mon in the metagame. Metagross. Why is Metagross the best mon in the metagame? Well, because Earthquake Explosion. Both of those moves work differently in this gen. They don't get reduction for attacking both of your opponents. Also, Explosion is an instant KO on almost everything. You can run Choice Band, you can run Lumberry, you can run Agility, which is more on the gimmick side. I would tell you to just run Lum 3 Attacks Protect or Choice Band most of the time. But everything goes around Metagross. Like, one of the things with Metagross is that there are not other good steel types, and the Latias are allowed, Snorlax is allowed. Like, you want a steel type, it's so important. It's also not weak to fighting, which is an important thing, because Hariyama exists. And there are not many good steel resists, so that's why Metagross is the best mon. You can beat almost everything 1v1. Also, you are immune to Intimidate, you are immune to Icy Wind. Both of those moves are very common, and you ignore them. Yeah, you are slow, but you are gonna be faster than most of the walls. And you are faster than the second best mon in the tier, in my opinion, Snorlax. Why is Snorlax so good? Because you want special walls in this tier. There are so many powerful special attackers: the Latias, Zapdos, Starmie, Alakazam, Arcanine, Moltres. The list goes on, and Snorlax beats all of them. It can also beat many of the physical attackers. You can beat some Metagross if it doesn't attack you for one turn. You can 2-hit KO with Earthquake. Then you have Tauros. If you have white hair, you can 2-hit KO it if it doesn't attack you in one of the turns. Also, you have Self-Destruct, which is just as broken as Explosion, especially because you have Stab. This one is so good. Every team needs multiple answers into it. You cannot just run 5 special attackers and a physical attacker, because you are gonna lose to Snorlax. Now, we have Clefable. Well, not just Clefable. Where is its best friend, which is always compared to? Where is Togetic? Oh no, I spoiled you that it's Togetic, the one that I'm about to talk about. Here it is. The two good Follow Me users. What do? They are normal types in this gen, remember? They follow me. One of them is a flying type, which means it's gonna ignore the earthquakes that would be used to avoid Follow Me. The other one is Valkyrie. It has better coverage, and it's not weak to ice and electric, which are massive. So where do I put them? Well, one thing that you have to consider about them is how good are they at using Follow Me into the common moves. You're gonna see so many moves in this metagame that either ignore Follow Me or hit them for a lot of damage. So I put them in B+. Because at the end of the day, Follow Me is a great move. And if nothing else is gonna be running it, and you don't have many setup options anyway, Follow Me is great, especially because many of the best mons don't have good setup, so they run sub. And Follow Me into allowing your partner to get a sub can be massive in this metagame. But I don't put them above because they are not reliable and not many teams are gonna be running it. Talking about not reliable and not be run, another bad Follow Me user. Why would you use this mon? It has Follow Me and Helping Hand, just like Togetic, but it's not weak to Electric and Ice. It is also bad, like very bad. Do not try to use this mon. It's not like later gens when it can at least freeze and it gets some moves. Do not try to run Furret, it's not good in this metagame. Now, Teeter. Many of you who might come from 8B singles or from any other BGC might think, oh my god, Teeter is surely one of the best models in the metagame. Oh my god, the Latties are common and Zapdos is common. No. What is the problem with Teeter? You are slow, you are weak to Meteor Mash, you are weak to Earthquake, you don't get physical Dark Stab, and the Latties have way more special defense than physical defense. So, you are not really a counter to many of the mons that you would be a counter to in later gens. Yes, and it's good, obviously, and this mon can answer some mons like many Snorlax sets that don't run Earthquake, many Taros that are locked into not Earthquake. But you are weak to so many mons. I consider this mon to be around here, above the two of these, but it's not reliable. It's often gonna be coming short. It doesn't have good attacking moves. Like you have Earthquake and that's it. Like Rock Slide is bad. If you run HP Rock, you are gonna be walled by many mons. Like imagine having your freaking Teeter lose 1v1 to the Latties if you don't run HP Bug or HP Ghost, but if you do, you can be 1v1 by Zapdos. Like you can run Rock Slide, but it doesn't do damage, and Teeter is not that good like in later gens where it is amazing. Here it's not, sadly. So who should I grab next? What if I grab this Claydol? What does Claydol do? Well, Claydol gets Earthquake and Levitate and Psychic. It is also so bad compared to so many other mons that can do the same. I still consider it to be in C-, like above Sneasel, by the way. Because you can... Explosion Earthquake is incredible. Shadow Ball is incredible. Like those three moves are so good if they weren't in such a bad mon that doesn't do damage. You are so weak to Intimidate, you are not gonna be killing mons with Explosion after Intimidate. You are slow, like yeah, you can be faster than Metagross, but so what if you run so much investment in speed and attack, you are not even a wall anymore. Do not run Claydol, it's a bad Steelix. And you wanna know where Steelix goes? Here, above Persian, but still. What does this mon do? Well, it's one of the best Steel types, but the difference from Steel types goes from S- to C. What does Steelix do? It walls Zapdos, and it's a Steel type. You get Explosion and Earthquake, just like Metagross. You are also way worse than Metagross in every single way. You don't even resist Ice, but you can do some stuff with it. If you're gonna be running Steelix, it's never over Metagross. It's to run a second Metagross. That way you can afford to run a fast Metagross and still have a defensive Steel type in the back, being Steelix, which is horrible, and you shouldn't use it. You are not even 3-hit KOing Tauros after Intimidate. I don't remember, maybe you don't even 4-hit KO it. It's so bad. Don't use this mon, don't use anything in C. But if for some reason you had to use it, you know that it's better than Persian. Next, there it is, Marowak. Marowak, as I told you before, it pairs great into Gyarados, but Marowak can also do stuff beyond just helping Gyarados. Marowak is, in my opinion, one of the best support moves that are offensive, purely offensive, but they support. How does it support? Lightning Rod. Zapdos is everywhere. T-Bolt on the Lattice, Starmie, Gengar, those is everywhere. So you wanna be able to redirect those moves. Just passively support. You passively make Starmie go from losing to Zapdos to beating Zapdos. You passively make Starmie go from losing to the T-Bolt Lattice to beating them. You are way too strong. One problem that you have is that you have to decide between HP Rock and HP Ghost. You are gonna get walled by, well, not walled, nothing walls this month, but you're gonna have struggle to beat Zapdos or the Lattice. You also get Boomerang. Many people, I think most people, run both Earthquake and Boomerang. Boomerang, that way you don't have to attack your partner. It does the same damage to a single opponent. And it hits twice if for some reason someone is running a sub-user that isn't immune to ground, which you shouldn't, unless you're a Starmie, then it can break the sub. This mon is very important, and you shouldn't just run a team that loses to Gyarados or Starmie besides clicking electric moves, because you're gonna have a lot of problems with Marowak. Next, Aggron. Now you might be asking me, what does Aggron do? Is it good? Is it no, Aggron is like around here, maybe it's here probably. What does it do? It eats Explosion. It's like you run it obviously alongside your Metagross. You don't replace your Metagross with an Aggron, but you can explode with Metagross and not do damage to your Aggron. You can explode with Snorlax and not do damage to your Aggron, etc. That's what it does. It also loses to any Earthquake, it loses to almost every special attacker, it loses to Hariyama. It's awful, but you can explode next to it. So that's that. Just use Steelix, please. Do not try to use this mon over Steelix. And obviously never use them over Metagross. Next, Blissey. Is Blissey no. Blissey is when you wanna run a second Snorlax, and do not run a second Snorlax. One is enough. Next, Wobbuffet. What does Wobbuffet do? It traps you, and it does nothing besides trapping you. It's very passive, extremely passive, and trapping you is not the best thing. Like, you're trapping your opponent and you're playing a 1v2. They are trapped, but they beat you anyway, so do not. Talking of do nots, another do not. Do not try to use this mon, it's just like the others. Oh, follow me, Flame Body, oh my god, it's so good. No, it has the same problem as the others. Okay, let's talk about a good mon, because I'm getting depressed of all these awful mons. Zapdos. Zapdos is one of the best Pokemon in the tier. You probably realized that when I was talking about almost every mon, I mentioned Zapdos. Why is that? Zapdos is fast, strong. It's one of the best T-Wave users, one of the best sub-users, one of the best pressure stallers. It's so good in this metagame, but it has problems. It loses to the Lattice. Like, yeah, you hit them with HP Ice, but you lose to them anyway. Like, especially if they have Ice Beam, which they often do because they are scared of how good Zapdos is. Besides that thing that I just mentioned, and loses to Snorlax, like almost every special attacker. Besides that, you are like God. You are the Mon. Is it S tier? Not really, in my opinion. I think it's the best Mon after S tier. It's in fact the only Mon that I'm gonna put in A+. But I don't consider it to be at that level because of Ice Beam being everywhere just for it. Like, you are also slower than the 110s. The Gengar, the Tauros, the Lattice, you are slower than them and they do very damage to you. Also, if Marowak comes in, you lose to Starmie. And you have to HP Ice twice the Marowak, but by then Starmie already killed you. So, it's incredible. Every team needs an answer or two or more into this Mon, but you have to keep in mind, you are gonna have some problems and it's not gonna be in every team. Talking of being in every team, we have Smeargle. No. You might be asking, why is Smeargle so bad in this meta? By the way, like around here. Why is Smeargle so bad? Doesn't it get every move? Doesn't it get Fake Out, Follow Me, and Icy Wind, Stab Explosion? Yeah, but in this metagame there isn't really that many moves that you... Maybe around here. There aren't that many moves that are worth using such a bad Mon. Like, there isn't the super broken mega ultra moves that are in later gens that you... There is no Dark Void, there is no... I don't know, whatever Smeargle runs, everything. There isn't those. Like, if you are gonna run it for Fake Out and Follow Me, use a Mon that survives. If you're gonna be using it for anything, just use a Mon that survives. This Mon doesn't survive and Focus Sash doesn't exist. Poor Mon. Next, we have the Starmie. I talked about Starmie a lot so far. Starmie is in A. It's a top 10 Mon, definitely. Like, why is Starmie so good? Because you have a great typing, you have a great speed tier, you are faster than the 110s, you have Ice Beam, you have T-Bolt, you have Psychic, you have Hydro Pump. In fact, many Starmies are running T-Bolt just for opposing Starmie. Like, because when you look at the top Mons, there aren't many that are weak to Electric. Like, you have Starmie and Gyarados. People are running Electric moves for them, and it makes sense because Starmie is so good. I'm telling you, your team needs a Starmie answer, otherwise you are gonna get folded by it. And it's easier to get folded by it than other Mons because it's so fast. Like, the viable Mons faster are Alakazam, which often can get 1v1 by you, and that's it. You are gonna be faster, always. Like, very commonly you're gonna be faster. You can also do Endure, you can use Skill Swap. You get Natural Cure, you get the ability, like you can switch out of being frozen, of being paralyzed. Starmie is one of the key pieces of the metagame, in my opinion, and I think many people talk it down because of its biggest weakness, itself, its accuracy. You are needing Hydro Pump, you cannot run something besides Hydro Pump. You need that way to hit Metagross, you need that way to hit Tauros for a lot of damage, that way to Oko Arcanine. And one of the beauties of this metagame is that nothing runs moves that are so inaccurate. Like, you have Metagross that runs Meteor Mash. Some mons sometimes run Will-O-Wisp, but I don't count those. And everything else is 90 plus. Starmie is gonna be running always an 90% accurate move, which is bad and it's unreliable. If Starmie always hit Hydro Pump, I would put it here maybe, but it's not. And very often you're gonna be losing games because of missing, especially because in many games you're gonna need to hit 4 in a row, for example, or 3 in a row, and it's a coin flip. You can't make your games always a coin flip for running a mon. So I wanted to talk a lot about Starmie, and I did, because I think Starmie is really one of, if not the most controversial mon. Like, it's so good, but you're running inaccurate moves, and it's not like other mons that run inaccurate moves but don't need to click them. Starmie is in almost every game you play gonna need to hit more than one Hydro Pump. Okay, so next, remember how I talked to you about how bad Baton Pass Ninjask is? Well, what if we made it worse? Scizor. You might be thinking about later gens, but no Technician, no Bullet Punch, no U-Turn, no Rust. This mon, what does it do? It agilities, it sword dances, it baton passes. What does it also do? It dies to any fire move, it struggles to get the pass off, it's worse. Imagine being worse at your job than Ninjask. Yeah, that's such a shame. Well, I consider it to be better than Persian, but there's a big gap that you're gonna see later between Steelix and Scizor. Oh, okay, so next, talking of that, we have Sableye. You are the fake out user that is a ghost type and a dark type. You are immune to the Lattice Psychic, you are immune to Explosion and normal moves. You walk Hariyama. You also don't have stabs. You don't have Prankster in this gen. You don't have almost all of the good moves that these mons gets later. It doesn't have it. No Wisp. No the other moves that it gets. It's horrible. And do not use it. Oh, every other fake out user is better than this mon. So this is, I believe, the only fake out user that is in Don't, because never use this mon. All the other ones, even if they have a worse typing, they have a best reason to exist. Now let's talk about a good mon like the Lattice. Oh man. So the Lattice. They are the S tier mons. Now, if you ask around people, many are gonna tell you Latios over Latias, many are gonna tell you Latias over Latios. If you look at my team builder, you're gonna see that 90% of my teams have Latios over Latias. And that's because I consider Latios to be better than Latias. That difference in special attack is very important very often on the 2-hit KOs that you get. But obviously, you can use Latias just as well. You can also be max speed, max special attack Latias. You are gonna get some, not all of the same 2-hit KOs, but still, and you're gonna be surviving hits. You can survive a hit from Tauros. Latios doesn't. You can survive a Meteor Mash, I believe. Latias doesn't. Choice Band Meteor Mash. Like, if your team has Latias over Latios, it's not that big of a deal. But almost every team is gonna have at least one of them because they are so good. They are so fast, so strong. Such a good typing for this metagame. They do lose to the two best mons. Like, you don't do damage to Metagross and it 2-hit KOs you. You don't do damage to Snorlax and it 2-hit KOs you. But everything below, it's Latifood. Well, there are obviously some exceptions, but the Latis are one of the most centralizing mons in this metagame. It is so hard to answer to them so often. They are so good, they are some of the best, they are the best sub users. They have Levitate, which is so important, they have such a fast speed. Like, besides Alakazam and Starmie, you are tied for the fastest of the good mons. You speed tie with Gengar and Tauros, which you are gonna see later. But these two mons are so good in this metagame. Your team needs to be prepared for them. Now, next, we have Gengar. Now, a part of me wants to put Gengar below Starmie, but it doesn't make that much sense because, yeah, Starmie is a great mon and you always need to prepare for it, but it's easier to prepare for Starmie than to prepare for Gengar. Gengar is immune to Explosion and Earthquake. Those two are massive. It has Explosion itself. It has the fastest Explosion of the good mons. We are later gonna talk about how bad Electrode is. But it also has great coverage. Ice Punch, Fire Punch, T-Bolt, Psychic for opposing Gengar. You can run Shadow Ball. Run it. Shadow Ball Explosion Gengar is a good set because you do a lot of damage to the Latis and you run Attack Investment. Gengar is amazing, but it has so many flaws. You might think, oh, 130 special attack. You are often gonna be struggling to do damage. Without Fire Punch, you always lose to Metagross, and you lose to Metagross anyway because you don't kill it with Fire Punch and it kills you back. Yeah, you wall many Snorlaxes, but many of them run Shadow Ball just to hit you, but it also does a lot of damage to the Lattice anyway. It does more than your normal stab unless you are running Double Edge. Sorry, I had to do a small pause, but I was slandering Gengar. So, you struggle, okay? The Lattice runs Psychic because it's the strongest move and it kills you in one hit. Many Starmies run Psychic to outco you, and it's also its strongest reliable move because you're gonna miss many Hydro Pumps, so some people run Psychic to have a strong accurate move. This one, it's in almost every game, in almost every set rather, gonna be forced into a speed tie versus the Lattice. It's not a reliable mon, but it often forces people to think like, if they have Earthquake normal move and Snorlax, they're gonna be like, oh my god, Gengar, what do I do? Do I have to run, etc. This mon has the potential always, and it works the metagame a lot because people have to consider it when building, but on practice you are gonna feel its flaws. Okay, talking about flaws, Batmon, yeah. Well, it's around here of bad. Why is Gorbis bad? Because it's a mon for rain, but just use Omastar. Is Omastar good then? No, it's not good either, but it's better than Gorbis. Yeah, you are not weak to Earthquake, but you can at least resist normal, and that's an important thing. So what do? They get used in rain teams alongside the Ludicolo, which is gonna be in every rain team. If for some reason you wanted another one, which you shouldn't, use them, yay, but don't use them. A rain team, one of the good reasons of rain teams is that you don't need more than the two good rain dance, the two good Swift Swim users, Ludicolo and Kingdra. You don't need more than them, they are enough. If you're for some reason running 3 Swift Swim users, your team is gonna be so weak to so many things in the metagame. Do not use them. C-, the bottom of the do not use them. Talking of not using, we have Baton Pass on Ninjask, very bad, Baton Pass on Scizor, very bad, and Baton Pass on Ledian, even worse. Do I have to explain this? It's Ledian. Yeah, it is immune to Earthquake, I guess, and it's so bad. Do not use Ledian. Why are you using Ledian over Ninjask? Why? Why are you using it over Scizor? They are better Baton Pass users and you shouldn't be using Ledian. I don't know why this mon is here, it should be below because it doesn't have an issue. Anyway, bad mons because I wanna get them out of the way. Okay, why do you not use this mon? Why do you not use one of the 3 Lightning Rod users? There are 3 Lightning Rod users. Marowak, Rhydon, which is next, and Manectric. Well, in this gen, it doesn't... Lightning Rod doesn't make you immune to the electric moves. Like, you're gonna get hit by T-Wave and Paralyzed, you're gonna get hit by T-Volt and you're gonna take like 40% because you are up. You don't use this mon, okay? It's so bad compared to the others, and you are not even immune to the move that you are redirecting. And you don't get special attack. It's just redirection, nothing else. Do not use Manectric. Okay, so you compare these 2 mons. Marowak is stronger, it's not weak to Earthquake, it's not weak to Meteor Mash. Why would you use Rhydon? Well, Rhydon resists normal, and that's it. But that's a pretty big thing, like Snorlax, and later you're gonna see Tauros. You also resist fire. You're later gonna see the Moltres and the Arcanine. You also have higher physical bulk, I guess, but in almost every case I would tell you to just use Marowak. You are gonna be faster and you have a overall better type. Where would I put Rhydon? Well, it's definitely not unreliable, it's in B. But it's worse than all 3 of these mons, because it's outclassed by Marowak in most ways. If for some reason you need an answer to Tauros, okay, but Tauros can just click Earthquake into you. If you need an answer into Arcanine, okay, I get that. Are not, well, just Arcanine because many Moltreses have HP Ice, though many have HP Dark, but that's the thing. Sorry, another pause. Next. Bad mons, I wanna get them out of the way. Whiscash. It doesn't have an issue, I just wanted to shout out Whiscash. Anyway, Dragonite. Why are you not using Dragonite? Because Salamence exists and is better, so like, just use Salamence, and Salamence, you're gonna see later where it goes in the tier list. Yeah, you have Inner Focus, you are also slower than most mons, you're gonna die to the HP Ices and Ice Beams that are everywhere, and Ice Punches. You also really don't have that many reasons to be used over Salamence, like Inner Focus, wow, for the fake out users that aren't as common as physical attackers, which is a thing that Salamence does counter with its ability. Salamence is faster. Salamence is overall just a better Dragonite. Now, if you're a guy from 8B Singles or from BGC in later gens, you're gonna be thinking, Salamence is surely good, but then you look into this tier, like, you lose to many Metagrosses unless you are special. If you're special, you lose to Snorlax, unless you're mixed, then you might honestly just lose to both. Many of the Lattice run Dragon Claw because it's neutral into every mon except Metagross, and it's the strongest move to hit the opposing Lattice, and it just happens to also hit this mon. Zapdos almost always runs HP Ice. Ice Punch is very common on Gengar. Ice Beam is very common on Starmie. Like, just see this trend. You are weak to many of the moves that people are gonna be running. So, yeah, Intimidate. It doesn't matter. You have better Intimidate users. Does that mean that this mon is bad? No, it's not bad. But honestly, just there are better mons to be used in this metagame. I consider it to be better than these two mons that are kind of unreliable, but a Sun team is honestly probably better than a Salamence team. And the more I think about it, I think I'm later gonna put Titar above in the Aerodactyl tier. Okay, I wanted to talk about one more bad mon before continuing with the good ones. What does this mon do? It's a Skill Swap and Will-O-Wisp and Memento, and it gets traced to Skill Swap a good thing into your Slaking, and it's also way worse than every Skill Swap user that is good, so do not run this mon. Okay. So, well, one more bad mon before going to the good ones. What does this mon do? Well, it's a Earthquake user that is faster than Metagross, and it's also worse than almost every other mon that does that thing. It's weak to Psychic, it's weak to Earthquake. Do not use this mon. Obviously, Nidoqueen goes next to it because people always talk about them, I don't know. Okay, so next, a good mon. Let's choose a good mon. Okay, where is... Okay. Now, I'm gonna have to talk about Arcanine, and Moltres, and Charizard, and Blaziken, the fire types. And Camelot if you want, it's in band. Okay, so... the four good, well, not good, the four fire types. What do they do? Well, first of all, Arcanine, the good one. Arcanine is in A tier. It's also one of the mons that works the metagame. It's the only good mon, the only mon in A or above that can one-hit KO Metagross. It's also a great White Herb user. It's a great Extreme Speed user, Helping Hand user. It's fast. It's gonna be outspeeding the opposing Metagross. And Fire is not the best thing to be thrown around, but you can still hit Zapdos for a lot of damage. Also, interesting fact, in this gen, Overhit is a contact move, so you get activated by Cute Charm Clefable. Anyway, so Arcanine. It's one of the important mons. It's the last mon that I put in, like, it's at the bottom of A, but it's definitely better than the mons in A-, and it's one of the important mons that you have to, well, you don't have to build around it because your team is always gonna have answers to it. You're gonna have your thick fat Snorlax, your Lati, your Starmie, but still, it's one of the best Intimidate users, it's one of the best mons at everything that it does. Talking of mons that are good at what they do, we have Moltres. What does Moltres do? It's kind of a worse Arcanine that is immune to Earthquake, but that's massive, being immune to Earthquake. I put it at the top of B+. Usually you're gonna be running Arcanine because Helping Hand, because Extreme Speed, because faster, but this mon is stronger, and it's immune, as I said, to ground. You are also weak to T-Bolt, and you are neutral to Ice Beam. Also, you don't have Crunch like Arcanine, so you are gonna be running HP Dark if you wanna hit the Lattice, or HP Ice, it depends. HP Dark is to not also be walled by Starmie, but Starmie outgoes you anyway. So, Moltres has a reason to be used. Many people put it in the triple normal team over Arcanine, because when your team is weak to Earthquake, you use Moltres over Arcanine. When you wanna use Earthquake and not hit your partner, you use Moltres over Arcanine. It has a reason to be used, but it isn't as reliable, and you're not gonna see it as often as Arcanine. Charizard. I'm sorry, Charizard fans, but use Moltres. Charizard obviously has place, obviously has more speed, so it can speed tie the opposing Zapdos. It has Dragon Claw, so it can hit the Lattice for damage, but it also has worse bulk and worse special attack than Moltres, and that speed difference is not important, like very much at all. It's sad to put Charizard down here, like individually Charizard is better than many of the monsters that are above it, but you are never gonna be running Charizard over Moltres, so like often you're making your team worse by having Charizard over Moltres. So next we have I forgot about the last of the fire types. Well, the other three fire types lose to Snorlax. This one is a fire type that beats Snorlax, and that's where it ends. You are also weak to Psychic. You are also not that strong and slow, and do not use Blaziken unless for if your team is weak to Snorlax and you are needing to run Blaziken over Arcanine just for that, your team is bad, okay? But still, it's not bad because it has a good reason to be used. That reason being a fire type that can hit Snorlax unlike all the others. Where do I put it? Well, above Scizor, because at least it can do stuff without much of fishing, like all of these two. It's sad to see Charizard so low when it can do so many things but do not use Moltres. At least there is an actual reason to put Blaziken in a team over Moltres or Arcanine, which is Snorlax. There is not a reason to put Charizard over Moltres, a good reason. Okay, now another good mon of the meta game. Another of the best mons, Tauros. Why is Tauros so good? It's the best Intimidate user. It has 110 speed. You are speed tying Gengar and the Lattice. Earthquake, so strong. And the important move is Double Edge. Double Edge is gonna OHKO, one hit KO from 4 most of the Latios. And most, well not most, but many of the Latias. This mon is so strong, it's fast, you're also not one hit KO'd by the Lattice like Gengar is. You die to recoil, like if the Latios outspeeds you and gets a Psychic off, you kill it and you die to recoil, but which is funny. But still, one thing, always run Choice Band on this mon, like every other mon that you're gonna see besides Marowak, which always runs the club, all these other mons can run different items. I don't ever recommend you to run an item besides Choice Band on your Tauros, because you need that damage, otherwise you are not that good in most games. You need that damage, and I honestly consider non-Choice Band Tauros to be bad. I think non-choice Tauros goes way below. Do not use it. Okay. So, what one could I... Okay, you might be thinking, Sharpedo! Oh my god, Sharpedo gets Ice Beam into Zapdos and Crunch, and it can be a second Starmie, right? No. Sharpedo is like a second Starmie if for some god knows why reason you need a second Starmie, it exists. Funny enough, it activates Roskin into Overheat from Arcanine, which is so funny, and into Dragonclaw from the Lattice, but do not use Sharpedo, okay? It's not a good mon. Talking of not good mons, Dugtrio! Yeah, you can trap Metagross. Yeah, you can trap Arcanine. Also, Arcanine intimidates you and you don't kill it, but if I consider it to be around where Wobbuffet is, like around here maybe. Well, probably worse than. Imagine being worse than Claydol as a ground type. Anyway, do not use this mon. It's not reliable, and look at all the mons in the top tier that are just immune to you, to your trapping. Okay, now I can talk about one more bad mon before going to the good ones. Okay, Electrode. Electrode is fast and it has explosion. Oh my god. Don't use this mon. Why do you wanna outspeed opposing Aerodactyl? I don't know. But you can. You can also not kill anything besides using explosion. And there are many mons that can kill with explosion and also with real moves. Do not use Electrode. Why are you using Electrode? Do not. I repeat, do not. Cancel it. Okay, so... Well, one more Batman. What does Skarmory do? It walls these two. It loses to... Well, it also walls Tauros. It loses to everything else and it can try to Course Sweep. I think it's around here probably. Better than Aggron, but it's definitely not reliable. In every game you're gonna need to kill one or more, most likely more, mons that just kill you, because people run them. People run the Lattice, people run the Gengar, people run the Zapdos, the Arcanine, the Starmie, the Alakazam, the Moltres, the more mons that you're gonna see later. Do not. But it has a reason to be used, I guess. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk to you about an ability. That ability is called Dump, and 4 mons get them. What does Dump do? It blocks explosion. Like the mons that are immune to explosion are Gengar, and Dusclops, and Misdreavus, I guess. But your other mon does get hit by it, like they only protect themselves. These mons cancel out explosion altogether. So, what can they do with that? Well, Golduck, nothing. The other 3 are better. Quagsire, not much. Like, it's at least better than these 2, but you're a bad Swampert. You don't get recovered in this gen, remember. You're a bad Swampert, and you probably want to use the other 2 because they have better reasons to be used. I consider the 2 of these should go together. Where should they go together? I think that around below Breloom. No, above Breloom. So, these 2. This one is not weak to Psychic, which is massive. But this one hits Snorlax, which is massive. Which one should you use? It depends on your team. Do you want a mon that is weak to Psychic? Or do you want a mon that is walled by Snorlax? Like, they have quote-unquote a reason to be used. But you shouldn't. Also very strong, but they are not reliable mons. Almost every defensive water type is better than them. Even the ones that are outclassed are better than them. Well, there is one that isn't. Lantern! Why is Lantern all the way down here? Because it's weak to Earthquake. You can't use a defensive water type that is weak to Earthquake. Like, Earthquake is such a common move. Every team is gonna have multiple Earthquake users. Like, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be using Lantern. Which is so sad. Lantern is such a good mon. Like, cool mon. Okay, well, now that I'm talking about defensive waters, I talked about the dumb ones and Lantern, I guess I can talk about the other defensive waters. Which there is a lot of, actually. This one isn't defensive, but I'm gonna talk about it at the end. And I think that's it. Well, first of all, the best of the defensive waters. Ludicolo. Why is Ludicolo so good? Well, you are a water type that's not weak to electric. That is massive. I told you how common T-Volt is. And you're not weak to it. You're also not weak to HP Grass, which almost nobody runs lately. Anyway, because people don't use Swampert, which you're gonna see later. But you're also the best Fake Out user. It pains me to say this, but you are probably the best Fake Out user over the other two that I'm gonna talk about later. You get Icy Wind, you get a good type, like you resist Steel and Ground, like you wall the best mon in the tier. You get Hydro Pump, which does a lot of damage, like Icy Wind. You can even be used in rain teams, which they are not the best, but you can be used in them. But it's tied. I wouldn't say that it's way above. It's kind of interchangeable with the other Fake Out users that you're gonna see later. But I consider it to be around here, okay? Fake Out is such a good move in this meta. But not many mons get them. 3 reliable mons get them, and you're one of them. And you have a good reason to be used. You are walling most Metagross. You are Icy Winding. You are killing opposing Arcanine. You are getting an Ice Beam into these mons. It's a decent mon to use, I would say. Talking of decent mons to be used, Swampert, it's around here. I still consider it to be A tier, but it's the worst of the A tiers, and it's arguably B+, but I don't think it's B+, I think it's a bad A- mon. Well, you are a ground type that isn't weak to... you're a water type that isn't weak to opposing Zapdos. You're a ground type that isn't weak to Ice Beam. But you have problems. Like, yeah, you run Earthquake. And then what? Do you run Water moves? Ice moves? If you run an Hidden Power, do you run HP Ghost to not be walled by the Lattice? HP Rock to not be walled by Zapdos? Like, if you're gonna be running a defensive water, I would tell you, do not use Swampert, just use Ludicolo. Like, it doesn't matter if you're neutral to electric instead of immune. Ludicolo has a better typing and it has Fake Out. Swampert is good and it has many teams where it fits. It's not a bad mon, that's why it's in A-. But all the other mons in A- are gonna be better. Talking of mons that are not gonna be better, why would you ever run this mon? Well, the one has Fake Out. And it's also a water type that is neutral to Meteor Mash, which is not that great. I consider it to be around here. You are that's basically what you do. You get a stronger Ice Beam and Fake Out, but the other waters are way better. Just use Swampert, just use Ludicolo, just use Suicune. Your stats are so bad, and you are neutral to Meteor Mash, the most common move in the tier, so Fake Out is not worth it. Talking of not worth it, we have Lapras. Well, I consider Lapras to at least be better than Dewgong because it has better stats, that's it. And you have T-Bolt, you can run T-Bolt, an Ice Beam, an Icy Wind, and Protect. And Heal Bell is an option that I have seen, which is decent I guess, but it has its problems. Like, you really need the moves oftentimes. Okay, so Milotic. Well, Milotic has problems, many problems. It basically is very outclassed by Suicune, and on top of that, yeah, you get Recover. So what? Often you're not gonna be clicking Recover with it anyway, like you don't find the turns, you're weak to Electric, so you're not gonna be finding that many turns. I think it's better than these two, yeah, but in fact I might drop these two later because there's such a big gap between the mons in this tier. I'm gonna think about it later. Still, Suicune is just better than Milotic. But many people put Suicune around here. Could you believe that? I don't think Suicune is that good. In fact, I put Suicune down here below Moltres, which is a controversial take, but I honestly fully believe that you should be running some of the other water types over this. Like, Suicune is bulky and it gets Icy Wind, and it's so bulky and it gets Icy Wind. The bulkiest and it gets Icy Wind. But that's kind of it. You struggle to do damage compared to the others, or to get the Fake Out like this one, or strong moves and Intimidate, or Stab Earthquake and immune to T-Bolt. I wouldn't use Suicune over the others most likely, but it has reasons to be used. Every mon has reasons to be used in B tier. Except these two that I'm almost surely gonna drop later. Now this mon isn't a defensive water, but it's a water type that you run in rain teams. You don't want Ludicolo to be your only rain sweeper because it's gonna be Fake Out and Rain Dance, and it's not gonna be the rain sweeper. This is the rain sweeper, the mon in the rain team that is gonna annihilate everything. But it's still not that good. Like, it's B+, so it has a reason to be used. But you're relying on Hydro Pump, which is not that great. Rain is not that great. It's better than Sun, obviously, but I wouldn't run Kingdra. Talking of not running and talking of Sun, Shiftry. Shiftry is used in Sun alongside Exeggutor. It's worse, but the two of them are often used together because this one is the Fake Out Explosion Mon, and the other one is Explosion also, but still Powder, and you want both, okay? I consider Salamence to be better because there are gonna be some teams that have Exeggutor and not Shiftry. There are not gonna be some teams that have Shiftry and not Exeggutor. And Salamence is between them, in my opinion. So, Shiftry doesn't really do that much besides Fake Out and Explosion. That's the sad reality of it. So, I wouldn't really consider it in my teams unless I'm running Sun, and if you're running Sun, you're gonna be running into so much trouble. Talking of a mon that is quote-unquote a chlorophyll user, we have Jumpluff. Well, Jumpluff is definitely better than this mon because it has 110 speed and it has sleep powder, so you can win the speed tie and sleep the opposing Lattice or Gengar or Tauros or almost everything, and you have helping hand. That's the reason that you're using Jumpluff. I wouldn't run it. I would not run it in a Sun team. It does get chlorophyll though, but I wouldn't. I also wouldn't run it at all. Sleep powder is great, but that typing, being a grass type that doesn't resist electric, being 4 times weak to ice, yeah, you're immune to earthquake, but it's not the best mon. It's still better than Steelix. Almost everything is better than Steelix. Okay, next up we have Flygon. Flygon is 4x weak to ice, which is a massive thing in this tier, but I still consider it to be around here because you have 100 speed, you are a ground type that is not weak to water, but the mons that run water moves run ice moves too, so that's a trade-off. Also, it's Earthquake, and you are weak to Dragon Claw, and you are... honestly, maybe it just goes here. Poor Flygon. Honestly, I'm just gonna put Flygon here, sorry. On second thought, it's not good, do not use Flygon. Talking of mons that you shouldn't be using, Registeel. What does Registeel do? Well, Registeel, it's a mon that can run Amnesia and Iron Defense, I think, and it's bad. You run it as a sweeper that is crit bait, and it's not a good mon. And obviously you don't run it over Metagross, you run it alongside it, but I don't like this mon at all. It has its reasons, it's better than the mons in C, but I would never run it. Like, I would maybe build a team around these mons because their niche is more attractive than the niche of Registeel. That's a way of saying it. Now the two Regis that are better, Regirock and Regice. Let's start with Regirock. Regirock is like maybe around here. You get superpower to really do damage into opposing Snorlax. Like, superpower is stronger than a stab brick break. Keep that in your mind. You are gonna do more damage to Snorlax than most fighting types. You also have Explosion, you have Earthquake, you are... Rock is not the best, but you're not weak to ice. You actually can beat Zapdos. Would I run it? No, but it has a reason to be used. Why use it over Titar? Explosion and superpower, that's it. Now, bad mons. Jolteon! Here, Jolteon is a don't. Do not use it. Like, Volt Absorb and being faster doesn't mean that it's better than Raikou. Raikou is just better. Raikou! I consider Raikou to be here. What does it do? Well, I told you before how great 115 speed is, Starmie. But you are also a pure electric type, you are weak to Earthquake. And also you don't have that many good resists. The best resist you have is Electric, obviously, which allows you to 1v1 Zapdos. And Steel, but the one that uses Steel type moves uses Earthquake. So that's what Raikou does. It's a 115 speed mon that can run Crunch. Crunch is very important because you do a lot of damage to the Lattice. You can run T-Bolt or Mind, Sub, but honestly, I wouldn't put it in many of my teams. I know there are as many people that put Raichu around here as people that put Suicune around here, but I don't put either of them, and in fact I consider Moltres to be just better than them. Okay, oh, I forgot about the Regis. Regice! Regice is the better of the 3 Regis, and I put it around here. Why? Why someone that is one hit KO'd by Metagross and just loses to Snorlax all the way up here? Well, let's look at the Lattice, at Zapdos, Starmie, Gengar, all of them lose to you. And you get Icy Wind. That's it basically. You can run T-Bolt, Ice Beam, Icy Wind, Explosion, Protect, some combination of those moves. You are often, you can, in some rare teams, you can run it over Snorlax, but I would never, okay? Some people, I'm pretty sure, have tried it, but I wouldn't. But you can also run the 2 of them together and have such a strong special walling core that people are gonna struggle to run their many special attackers against you. So that's what it does. Now, the king of ice types, we have Articuno. I put Articuno here. What does Articuno do? It's Regice that is weak to electric and it doesn't get T-Bolt. But it's way stronger, way stronger. And it's faster. And it's immune to Earthquake, I guess, but I know there are some people that really believe in Articuno, but Regia is probably just better. And most other Icy Wind users are probably just better. Something that you can do that Regice cannot is Sub-Protect. With Pressure, Sub-Protect, and being immune to Earthquake, you are a great Sub-Protect user, but still, you are worse than the other legendary builds. Well, talking of ice types, we have another fake out user, Jinx. But Jinx is not good, like, you are an ice psychic type that you should probably be running the other fake out users. You get a lovely kiss, but you should probably be running the other fake out users because they can take hits. This mon doesn't take hits, it dies to almost every. Look at this. 65-35. You're gonna be dying to earthquakes. Like, compare this to Alakazam. Do you see? Why does Alakazam have 10 more defense than you? Why do you die to earthquakes? Jinx, what are you doing? Sleep and fake out doesn't justify this mon. Well, it's probably better than Registeel, and probably better than Lapras, but still don't run it. That's C tier means do not run it. Do not run it. ThinkCap recommends you to not do that. Okay, so next is Kangaskhan. And, okay, I'm gonna be temporarily putting Kangaskhan here. And Hariyama. Okay, so I have a video planned about the fake out users in this tier. But for now, Ludicolo is the best one. But Hariyama is right next to it. Hariyama is weak to Psychic. That's bad. Hariyama doesn't wall Metagross like Ludicolo. That's bad. But you resist. You have thick fat, so you resist Arcanine. And you resist Regice, I guess. But the important thing, you get Fighting Stab who is this guy? Oh, Snorlax? Fuck off, I don't care about you. You know, one of the most common strategies with Fake Out is sub. Sub on Alati or sub on Zapdos or one of the other legendary birds and Fake Out. But afterwards, Snorlax is just gonna break the sub and not care if you're running a Ludicolo. Meanwhile, with this mon, you can hit them. But there is a problem, a big problem. You cannot just threat to kill the Snorlax with Brick Break and Psychic or Brick Break and T-Bolt. It doesn't kill it. Sadly, you need to run Cross Chop if you want to kill a Snorlax with that double up, and Cross Chop is an 80% accurate move that you should probably not be running. Like, if only you were able to kill it with like a Brick Break, Black Belt, Max Attack, but you don't. You need, sadly you need Cross Chop, and that means you have a very unreliable move. Like, if I'm not incorrect, Hariyama, Cross Chop, yeah, you have 8 PP, so you can easily be stalled out by the pressure mons. Also, you're weak to Psychic, you can run HP Ghost, you can run Earthquake for Metagross, but still, this mon it has its problems, and that's why I now consider Ludicolo to be better, but they are very interchangeable, and oftentimes it doesn't matter if a team has one or the other, like, they're pretty much around the same. Kangaskhan, on the other hand, well, you know how this mon has a great property of Icy Wind and Wally in Metagross? Well, this mon also gets Icy Wind, but it dies to Metagross. Well, it gets to hit KO. Know how this mon has a great property of helping you kill Snorlax? This mon doesn't have that. Why are you running Kangaskhan then? You get John. John is like so oppressive in this metagame. Like, yeah, often people are running Lamb on this mon, but besides the Lamb on Metagross, you are forcing so many switches. That's why so many people lately have been using Kangaskhan. In fact, lately I've been seeing more Kangaskhan than Hariyama. I don't consider it to be better. I consider it to be, in fact, better than Swampert. People are gonna be like, what? Think up, what are you doing? Many people put Kangaskhan around here. They are wrong, because Kangaskhan is, well, it's not Kangaskhan that is so good, it's John that is so good. Having a Fake Out mon with a sleep move that isn't Jinx, because you have a great bulk and you're not weak to any good mon except Hariyama. So like, this mon has reasons to be used. Also, Double Edge is doing a lot of damage. But still, I consider both of these to be better than Kangaskhan. But these 3 mons are interchangeable in teams. The one thing is that often these two are gonna patch more problems than Kangaskhan, so more often than not you're gonna put one of these two over Kangaskhan. They patch problems. Kangaskhan creates problem, but it doesn't patch them. You understand what I'm saying? So I think Alakazam and Gyarados are better than it. Talking of Fake Out users, Medicham, I consider it to be the 4th best Fake Out user. Does it mean that it goes like a tier below them or something like... No, it's... Yeah, you are a Fake Out user. You are a fighting type Fake Out user. But that is not weak to Psychic. But then you realize that Hariyama is 2-hit KO by Psychic from the Lattice, and Medicham is 2-hit KO by Psychic from the Lattice. Yeah, you are faster, but you die to everything. Like, you don't have the bulk of Hariyama. You are dying to way more mons than Hariyama. And yeah, you can run Brick Break to get that reliable kill on Snorlax, but I'm pretty sure that you're just always better than Cross Chop if you want that kill. The lack of bulk really shows. Yeah, you're stronger, yeah, you get Shadow Ball to be able to hit these mons, but also you don't have bulk. And if you shouldn't be running this fake out user that doesn't have bulk. Sadly. Next, talking of not having bulk, Shedinja! Many people always put Shedinja at the bottom of C+. That's a weird trend that I always see. I don't consider that to be correct. I consider Shedinja to be around here. Because you wall most Metagross. You're only not walling the rare Choice Band HP Rock Metagross, which you never see. Many Snorlaxes don't run Shadow Ball. You wall almost all the Lati. You wall almost all the Zapdos. You wall Tauros and let it lock itself into HP Ghost. You wall almost all the Starmies. You wall some Gengars. You wall a lot of mons, but you are also not reliable. Like, of course you are not reliable, you're a Shedinja. You're gonna run into a team that has Fire Punch Gengar and Shadow Ball Snorlax and Arcanine and HP Rock Marowak, HP Flying Gyarados, HP Ghost Hariyama, Fire Punch or HP Dark Alakazam. You understand what I'm saying. Shedinja is dead weight in many matchups. Now, you know how good of a ghost type Gengar is? You know how bad of a ghost type Sableye and Misdreavus are. Where is Dusclops? Well, Dusclops is bulkier than Gengar and it's not weak to Psychic. You're also not fast and not strong. Well, I still consider it to be good. In fact, I consider it to be better than the Follow Me users. It has a good reason to be used. A ghost type that, yeah, is not immune to Earthquake, and it's not fast and it's not strong, but it's bulky. It's bulky, it's a defensive mon, that's why you're using this mon. Why are you using this club? To go for Will-O-Wisp, which is a very reliable mon, and to be passive. But that's good enough. You beat the Lattice unless they get, like, I don't know, 10 double protects in a row or something like that, but that never happens. You beat many mons. Okay, so Magneton. Magneton is used to trap Metagross. You also wall many Snorlaxes that don't run Earthquake. You wall many Lati, you wall many Zapdoses. But quote unquote wall because they 3-hit KO you anyway. And you are very weak to Earthquake, weak to Fire. You are not a great mon, okay? But you're a better trapper than Wobbuffet or Dugtrio. Even though you only trap one mon, you do it better than them, especially if they lock themselves into Choice Band Meteor Mash. How good does that make Magneton? Well, where did I put it? I had my notes right down, but I think I accidentally deleted my notes on Magneton. Well, I think it was around here, around the C tier. Like, you are a worse Steel type than Steelix, and you are worse than Dewgong, and I think around here, because you are not a Flygon at least, and you are more reliable than a Scizor. That's just a button pass button. Okay, then Crobat. What does Crobat do? 130 speed. Before, when I was talking about Aerodactyl, I forgot that there is also Crobat at 130 speed. You are weak to T-Volt, Psychic, Ice Beam. You are weak to so many common moves. Why are you using this mon? Well, you have Swagger. You are the fastest Swagger user. Swagger can be used alongside Metagross to raise his attack by 2, and it cures itself of confusion. It's one of the very few mons that can allow setup in your other mon, like setup on your Metagross. People also run the berry that cures you from confusion alongside Lum to be able to boost also Snorlax. And you can also swagger the opposing mon to make them hit themselves 50% of the time. But oh my god, Crobat dies so easily to so many moves. It doesn't matter that you're immune to Earthquake, you die so easily to so many moves. It's still better than these mons because there's a good reason to run Crobat. Basically, Crobat has as much of a good reason to be used as many of the B+ mons, but it's also worse than them. It's like you're gonna see Crobat more often than many of these mons, but it's so weak and it's so unreliable. Okay, so next we have the 3 offensive bug types. Yay! Well, the worst one is Armaldo. I put Armaldo around Slaking tier. You are weak to Meteor Mash. You are not an Earthquake resist. Those are pretty bad. Like, yeah, you get Stab, Rock, or Zapdos, but just run the other bugs. They are faster. They can outspeed Metagross. So, you might be thinking, how good are they? Well, first of all, I put them around here. Around here. And you might be thinking, surely Heracross is better because it gets type of fighting into Snorlax. I consider actually Pinsir to be better. Why? You're immune to Intimidate and you're not weak to Psychic. Those two are massive. Like, yeah, you lack you don't have Mega Horn and you don't have Fighting Stab. But Pinsir is immune to, it's gonna have more opportunities to fire out moves because it's not gonna be Fear and Psychic in every single game. It's also immune to Intimidate, so it's way easier to counter a Heracross with Intimidate. They are still pretty bad, but at least better than Salamence probably. And I think that's it. Let me take a last look at all the mons to see if I'm missing a mon with a niche. Pelip, no, it doesn't have a niche. Sadly. Do not run Kabetaps. Do not run Hunter. They are worse than Gyarados, which is already a bad mon. Do not run Entei. All the other fire types are better than you. Do not run Girafarig, even though it has inner focus, because that's not that great. Like, just run the other inner focus mons. Banette! I guess it deserves to be put in Don't. Maybe? And that's it. Well, maybe summarily Don't, but it doesn't matter. Like, these mons on paper seem like C-, and then you realize they're bad. So this is my final tier list. So once again, Metagross and Snorlax, almost every team is gonna need them. It's not just they fit in every team. Almost every team needs them to exist, to function. The Latias? Use whatever Latias you want. If you put Latias over Latios, I disagree with you, but it's okay. It's not like if you were putting Articuno in S+, like, wow, what are you doing? No, it's an okay take, but I put Latios over Latias. Zapdos, it's so centralizing and it's better than the other 8 months, but it's weak to ice, which these two are also, but they are also at least fast. The 8 months, put them in many of your teams, you're often gonna have one or more of these months. These guys are so good. A minus, more unreliable, but they are still so great and many teams are gonna have them. The B tier, they have a reason to be used, and I wanted to do this. These 2 months are not B tier caliber, no way. Anyway, the B months, some are niche months like a Summon, a Bug, random as Bug, but well, they have reasons to be used. The C tier months, the months that have quote unquote a reason to be used, and I tell you, do not use them. Well, Rayon is better than Houndoom. Still, do not use them. They have so unreliable qualities, they are so outclassed by so many mons, I would tell you to not use them. And don't are the mons that any person that plays in this tier is gonna tell you they would never use them. And Whiscash is even below don't. I just wanted to put Whiscash because it's so funny. Whiscash. Anyway, that's the tier. Let me know in the comments if you disagree with some of my takes. If you think, oh my god, Tinka, why is Dugong not alongside the Snorlax? Didn't you know that it has Fake Out? Where was this mon before? Here. I think around here. Anyway, let me know down in the comments what mon do I overrate, what mon do I underrate, what mon would you give your opinion that Hariyama is better than Ludicolo? Let me know down in the comments, and that's it. Thanks for watching.